Welcome to Algebra Quiz 3. This problem was taken from Algebra Can Be Fun by Perelman, published by Mer Publishers from Moscow. In this problem, a man has an apple orchard and he sells to his first customer half of all the apples that he has plus half an apple. To the second customer, he sells half of rest of the rest plus half an apple. To the third, he sells half of the remainder plus half an apple, and so on. To the seventh customer, he sells half of what remains and another half an apple. And that's all he has had. How many apples did the farmer start out with? So let's see how we're going to solve this problem. So let the total number of apples be X. To the first customer, he sold half of what he has plus half of an apple, which is X plus 1 over 2. So this is what he sold for customer 1. Okay. For the second customer, he sold what was left. So let's find out how much was left after selling to the first customer. So he had X in total and he has already sold X plus 1 over 2. So this is the quantity that he's left with after selling to the first customer, which comes out to be 2x minus x minus 1 divided by 2, which is, simplifying it, x minus 1 over 2. So for customer 2, what he does is he sells half of from this one and then plus half an apple. So half of that, x minus 1 over 2, half of that one plus another half. So let's simplify this further, which is going to be x minus 1 divided by 4 plus 1 half. So if you take a common denominator 4, it's going to be x minus 1 plus 2, which equals x plus 1 divided by 2 square. Okay, so this is what we've got for the first customer, x plus 1 over 2, second customer, x plus 1 divided by 2 square. For the third customer, we would have x plus 1 divided by 2 cubed, and so on, all the way up to the seventh customer, when we will have x plus 1 divided by 2 to the power 7. Okay, so what we're now going to do is, when we add all the apples that was sold to the customer, that should total the original amount. So we had x plus 1 over 2 from the first customer, x plus 1 over 2 square from the second customer, and so on, all the way up to x plus 1 divided by 2 to the power 7 for the seventh customer. This must equals x. If you can take x plus 1 as a common factor, it becomes 1 half plus 1 by 2 square all the way up to 1 by 2 to the power 7 should be equal to x. This one is here, this one here, this is a geometric series with a common ratio 1 half. Okay, so sum of the geometric series is going to be the first term multiplied by 1 minus r to the power n divided by 1 minus r, where r is the common ratio and a is the first term. So we've got a, which is 1 half. The common ratio is 1 half again to the power of 7 customers divided by 1 minus half. So which is going to be 1 minus 1 over 2 to the power 7. Okay, so that's this particular term in brackets. So we've got x plus 1 multiplied by 1 minus 1 divided by 2 to the power 7 should be equal to x. Okay, so from which 1 minus 1 by 2 to the power 7 is equal to x over x plus 1. If we simplify it further, we get x is equal to 2 to the power 7 minus 1, which is going to be 127 apples. For some reason, I don't know why the art rage and the pen aren't working properly. There's all this streak coming off. Sorry about that. Okay, so we've got 127 apples. So this is algebraic way of solving this problem. So we've learned geometric series, how to sum geometric series, and how to frame equations from a word problem. If you go to Wikipedia page, it gives a good introduction about geometric series and how this formula that I had just used arrives. It's quite easy. Okay, so take a look at it and it should be pretty straightforward. Because I'm a fan of Excel, I was wondering if there's an Excel way of solving it, and indeed there is a way, which is this. It's through what is known as Excel solver problem. Sorry about that glitch. Okay, so what I've done is I've got a bunch of numbers here, a bunch of formulas, and I'm going to use in Excel this option here, what is known as solver. That's in Excel 2010, comes under data. Okay, Excel solver. So what I've done, let me go through. I have named these cells as these ones. Okay, so let's take a look at G3, what it says here. For customer 1, I've got the total apples divided by 2 plus 1/2. For customer 2, I've got total apples minus whatever I have sold before divided by 2 plus 1/2, and so on and so forth. And I've got this formula written down. Okay, so I'm going to use Excel's solver function to arrive at this answer that we just did using the algebraic method. So what is the solver? So if you use Excel 2010 and if you don't have the solver, you may have to go to File, Options, and you may have to go into Add-ins and go into Excel add-ins here, go, and you should have the solver add-in. Okay, and then you have this on the menu bar. So when I click on that, I get this window. Let's see what happens. I'm going to have an objective, which is this. Customer 7, that's the last customer, that has to have a value of 1. He can't have 0 apples. He must have at least 1 apple. So that's my aim. So set the objective of customer 7 to a value of 1 based on the total these criterias. Okay, so the criteria is, which I've listed here in terms of formulas. For customer 1, the total apples divided by 2 plus 1/2. For customer 2, total apples minus what was sold to customer 1 divided by 2 plus 1/2, and so on. I'm going to use everything default, select a solving method. I'm just going to put this whatever which comes up and then say solve. So what Excel does is it's going to make this number 1 by varying this total apples. So that's what it's saying here. By changing the variable cells, the total apples, I'm going to be varying this one so it gets highlighted. At the moment it has no apples, so it's going to guess that number, doing these calculations in its memory, and put these values back into the cell. So let's click the solve and say keep the solver solution. Okay, boom, we've got all the answers. So this is what Excel comes at. We've got 127 apples in total. For the first customer, he was sold 64 apples, second customer 32, third was 16, and so on till the last one who gets 1 apple. So I hope it's clear, and I recommend watching or going to this website called chandu.org. He's an excellent Excel specialist, most valuable Microsoft Excel professional, and he's made a fantastic blog, and he has posted this in 2011. So this should go through all the steps in a very systematic manner. So I recommend very strongly to go to this website and get familiarized with Solver. Okay, I think that's it.